Alright, everybody. It's beginning to look a lot like December. Mainly because we're 11 days in. I can't even think of other words that rhyme. Inform your next of kin. Uh, Welcome, everybody, to Pop the Question, the Q&A session. As always, Ashley hosting alongside AJ, Owen.
If you're a wrestling fan and you haven't yet seen FTR against the Briscoes double dog collar match from last night's Ring of Honor pay-per-view, do yourself a favor and after the show's over, watch it immediately.
And Chris.
I second the FTR Briscoes note.
Dear God. Not for the squeamish, but fan freaking tastic. It's violence personified. Just
another good match. Another good match from yesterday was the men's Iron Survivor Challenge from NXT. If you get a chance to check that out.
Yeah, well, I don't support the other company on this channel.
Right, let's head to the comments on the off. Josephine says, "Hey team, also almost done reading. This year it'll be different. A Christmas Story collection by acclaimed Irish author Maeve Binchy. She wrote Circle of Friends, which was made into a '95 film. Also, I'll mention this now. The pitch she just put. She's just finished recording with David Rosen for the Piecing It Together podcast, discussing Bones and... I'm guessing that's Bones and All, because the way it's spelt, it could be Bones and Alley.
That's the sequel.
Muhammad Ali.
Actually, it's a prequel. It focuses even more on the creepiest man in Hollywood. 100%. If you watch the movie, you know what I mean.
Also, Josephine is heading to Vegas in a couple of weeks to visit her aunt. So, because of that, favorite movie set in Vegas.
You know, it's funny. If you would have asked me this question over 10 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to ask or answer or even say anything. But I can now. It's Vegas Vacation. I love that movie, and I will not apologize for it.
I would think mine has to be Casino. I know it's obvious, but...
Mine's the original Hangover.
Well, we're going to wish Chris Buskirk the best in his future endeavors. Your services will no longer be needed here on the
Well,
Popcast
at least it
Network.
Wasn't Hangover 2 or 3. That's what I'm saying.
No, first one only.
Well, I got to throw Very Bad Things in, too.
Oh, God, yeah. I didn't think about stuff like that. Yeah, Very Bad Things, Fear and Loathing.
Yeah, I was going to say Fear and Loathing. Closely followed by What Happens in Vegas, because...
Honey, I Blew Up the Kid.
That's actually an amazing answer. I'm glad you said that.
I'm still buttered. He took out the guitar from Raw Hard Rock.
I'd also have to throw in the first Clooney Ocean's 11 movie.
Oh, yeah. The Ocean's movie. Oh my God. I just thought about the right answer. The right answer is The Great White Hype.
What's funny is one of the things I do remember most vividly about The Great White Hype is the opening credits sequence. It's just shots of Vegas.
And one of the main shots is just the shot of the front of the MGM Grand. When they talk about their Cadillac.
Oh, God.
Oh, man. Does it have to take wholly place in Vegas, or does a lot of it have to take place in Vegas? Because I want to throw Kingpin in here, too.
The word set was used, which means it's mainly. In which case, I know the perfect answer. That Neil Breen film that's set a lot in Vegas.
We have to say Rain Man as well. I love the Vegas scenes in Rain. The whole blackjack scene in Rain Man is iconic, which we should have pieced together to sooner because of the the way it's spoofed in The Hangover, which has already been mentioned. We mentioned The Hangover before we mentioned Rain Man. That bothers me.
Josephine's first time watches since last time: Holly and the Ivy, Black Christmas, Permanent Vacation, Stranger Than Paradise, Texas, Brooklyn, and Heaven, Sunrise, A Song of Two Humans, and The Lemon Drop Kid.
Permanent Vacation was the movie that made me think, oh, I could literally watch a movie that Jarmusch made that was 24 hours long. I would just, it would be the most relaxing thing ever. Was Permanent Vacation his debut, I think? And I was just like, I could watch 23 more hours of this.
I watched a movie that will now be added to my Christmas rotation every year.
What's that?
I watched Fat Man.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
You saw the drama version of Violent Night.
Yeah.
I'm just intrigued as well which Black Christmas, the original or the non-necessary remake.
Which unnecessary remake? 2006 or 2019?
That's a point as well. Which of the movie North Poles would you most want to visit? Santa Claus, Elf, Polar Express, or Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, or any others?
Elf is a big contender, but I would say the Santa Claus. The first Santa Claus, back when it was still kind of low-key.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nothing is. It seems, it's weirdly enough, is like Scott Calvin's world seems the most magical out of that entire lineup, and that's saying something.
I'd probably say.
I think I'd feel the most.
It has to be. It has to be the Santa Claus North Pole pre fucking Chet.
Yeah, I agree.
Everything post Chet, I don't want to be involved.
but yeah, like Ashley would say, definitely want to give a shout to Elf though. That's a kind of I do this all the time. It's I think depending on what day it is probably which one I would choose, because I could easily have chosen Elf too. Frosty the Snowman would be up there too, actually.
Yeah, one that's not listed for me, despite the movie itself. I'd have to throw the North Pole from Fred Claus in there. It does have a bar.
Oh yeah.
Which means it does have soda, which means I might be okay.
I'd have to say Arthur Christmas.
That's a good one too.
Over Tech.
Mm-hmm.
I just rewatched Arthur Christmas. I forgot how good it is.
If Polar Express were updated, what do you think the Wi-Fi password would be?
Oh God.
Believe.
Oh, that's a good one.
Is it too obvious? Believe, but the E's are 3s.
I think.
Hold on, let me check something real quick. I actually have an answer to this. I want to see if it works.
I was gonna go. Believe is so good. I was gonna go with Ticket Punch.
I would go with just all caps HTCHCLTE. Hot chocolate, of course.
I think mine in alternating uppercase and lowercase would be, why does Robert Zemeckis keep thinking he's James Cameron or vice versa?
Better than James Cameron.
Are we under the impression the conductor would be setting this password? Because if that were the case, it'd probably be something time related, because that's all he fucking thinks about.
I'm everybody in this movie.
I just think everybody was hooked on that hot chocolate. And it'd be like H, like plus sign, CHC, like L, like plus sign 3.
Well, AJ, by your logic, it would have to be Pocket Watch.
PCKWTH.
I was just thinking now, I want this to be canon. If it's Believe, because instead of the ending being super profound when he finishes the whole thing, it turns out the conductor was just sneaking him the Wi-Fi password.
great. Hey, he could have had it written in the marshmallows of the hot chocolate. Either way, you're getting that Wi-Fi.
He also could have punched the holes in the tickets
to write the actual Wi-Fi password.
There's quite a bit here also, continuing on the Polar Express stuff. What channels would be on the TVs now?
Probably Freeform.
Yeah.
It's just the Freeform Christmas marathon over and over again.
Although if you watched apparently Rampage this week, they were doing a Christmas story on that station early. Before Christmas Eve or Christmas Day or whatever.
It was on when I turned on Rampage, and it was coming on when I turned Rampage off.
Exactly, that's what I mean.
Wow. That's the old TNT way of doing things. That's the old WCW Nitro way of doing things. Let's start the show before Nitro, and let's finish the movie afterwards.
I just want somebody to be like watching Ralphie eat the soap, leave for a little bit, come back, watch half of like Mox and Takeshita, come back, and then A Christmas Story is picked up where it left off.
Okay, who gave Takeshita a Red Ryder BB gun? This makes no sense.
I don't know those names you said, but I have enough context clues that that's still funny to me.
If you knew John Moxley, you would find it even funnier. And the fact that he was covered in blood during the match helps.
Especially if the presentation
he probably got shot with Takeshita's BB gun.
Especially if the presentation was sponsored by Cinnabon.
John Moxley cannot be killed by conventional weapons.
Yeah.
Despite how hard he tries.
Would the elves?
But he still eats a pinball from Nick. Continue.
Would the elves at Santa's workshop be unionized?
I would say based on those interpretations,
I could honestly see Jack Frost trying to get that started.
What would happen if an elf went on maternity leave?
Do they procreate like us?
I don't know.
It depends. It depends what we're talking about. Are we talking about elves where they're adults, or are we talking about Santa Claus elves where it's children? Because that's going to be a big thing of how I look at this.
If the North Pole is impacted by climate change, would Santa and his crew change location?
I would say they kind of would have to.
It'd literally be like the Revenant shoot. They just keep moving upward.
They'd just get one of those out of commission destroyer boats that America sort of decommissioned a while back. Just get one of them, because that's like a massive thing.
Going back to what Josie mentioned earlier, I think Santa should relocate to Vegas because they're so used to seeing weird shit. Santa would blend in well.
Don't intend on getting political, but would Santa require the elves to be vaccinated, or would they have natural immunity?
I think they're elves. I think the magic would keep them fine.
I think the isolation of the North Pole would satisfy the lockdown that happened too. So I don't know that COVID would get to the North Pole.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're already isolated.
Unless Santa brought it back, because he does deal with children.
They're bringing in kids every year.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Do the reindeer?
I think Santa would just have to be vaccinated since he's the one going out.
Do the reindeer have vets?
He's also like 10,000 years old anyway. So needless to say, who knows how much longer he's got?
Do the reindeers have vets? I'd have thought so.
I'd surely think so.
You'd need them in good.
Yeah, wasn't there? Yeah, because was it the Rudolph thing where the elf wanted to be a dentist? The elves probably have like different jobs when it's not Christmas.
Yeah, Yukon Cornelius wanted to be a dentist. Yeah.
Imagine a railway strike on the Polar Express. Station announcer. The Polar Express has been delayed due to shit on the line.
To be fair, that's pretty much the only obstacle they didn't run into.
Yeah.
And it makes me think that of everything they did run into, that a railway strike would not be a big problem.
They ran out of track and were still fine.
The fuck
Exactly.
train has no brakes.
So,
would Avatar Land Pandora have their own Santa Claus? No.
yeah, it's the Blue
It's
Meanie.
called Susan Sarandon.
Probably not.
Oh no, sorry, no, Sigourney Weaver. I lose
I
track
don't
of who's
care.
in that film because everyone's blue dabu dee dabu die. How am I supposed to know which one's which? Like, there's a blue one. I love the fact that my local cinema nowhere near selling out on any of the tickets yet. It might pick up this week depending on what the reviews are, but yeah, we'll see.
How many theaters do you have?
Too
There's
fucking
your
many.
explanation.
I mean,
There's your explanation, Ashley.
the IMAX is showing at the one place, and then it's probably 3 or 4 out of the 13 at that one place. It's at least 2, possibly 3 at my local one that has like 6 or 7. The art house one is having at least 3 out of the 4 screens. One just being dedicated to the 3D screening.
You answered your own question. Supply and demand is also something that can backfire. If you have too many screens, then things don't sell out.
Yeah, that's why I'm worried, because we've already also got pre-booking for I Want to Dance with Somebody, and Babylon, and Empire of Light, and I can't remember if they added anything else since. But like the ones that are supposed to be the award contenders in January suddenly now have like pre-book slots now. But it's only sort of one screening throughout the day. It's not multiple screens.
See, it seems like this is how it works pretty much everywhere. The markiest of the marks are going to come on Thursday night and go watch it before the general public. The ones that used to go to the midnight screenings, they're going to be out on Thursday night. If it's a Friday opening, obviously, we're just talking about it as a Friday opening. Big fans are going to go early on in the morning because they probably have other things they have to do. Most of the GP is going to go after school, but the busier times are going to be in the evening because school's done, work's done, and now they just want to go to the theater. So your sellouts are generally going to come Thursday night, Friday morning, and Friday night. You'll get a lot of business the same on Saturday and Sunday, and then it kind of tapers off through the weekdays. But if there's a billion screenings, and the only ones that people are going to be interested in are the bigger ones, like the IMAX screenings, the IMAX 3D screenings.
Part of me is wondering whether the length is like putting people off as well. Like they don't.
I don't even know how long it is. I'm not acknowledging it to exist.
That but the fact that people are going to have to spend probably at least 3.5 hours, even with advert.
Yeah, because with fucking Avatar and Babylon, we're getting 2 movies 2 weeks in a row that are 3 hours and 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, well we get a month's layoff. Thank God. But then again, I mean, Bones and All was like 2 and a bit, I think.
It's just 2:10.
Okay, I'm trying to think of.
And it goes by super fast too.
It was one of them that was sort of like 2.5, 2 hours 40, which put me off from seeing it. I can't remember which.
Well, that's I Want to Dance with Somebody with trailers. So
the Fablemans is 2:30.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the other one that went on pre-book. I think Black Panther.
I'm going back for my while we're on I'll call it my booster shot of the Fablemans on Tuesday.
Heck yeah.
When my brother and I
You're the reason I went and watched it again this past weekend.
When my brother and I were little, Josephine says, we wondered why Christmas movies didn't acknowledge Jesus. It's like Santa's gone, no presents, therefore Christmas is cancelled. My brother was like, do these people even know about Jesus? The Charlie Brown Christmas special sort of does acknowledge it.
Depends on where you are. I doubt Whoville knows who Jesus is, for instance.
No.
Unless there was a Jesus Who, which is kind of hilarious.
No, as far as I know, there's not a Jesus in Whoville.
Can you imagine a Jesus Who, like, on a crucifix? Like, what that looks like?
Here's my question. If Jesus was in The Nightmare Before Christmas, would Jack Skellington misconstrue him to be a zombie?
Oh, my God.
I mean, look what he did with Santa Claus.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, that makes sense, probably.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to make a statement. I was being serious.
Josephine finally watched Pearl, and it was great. Mia Goth's truly a powerhouse performer. I want a Pearl Christmas album called Partridge in a Pearl Tree.
Is it controversial that I think Mia Goth is amazing in Pearl, but I still think I might prefer her in X?
I see where you're coming from.
Because X is two different characters.
Yeah, X is more of a transformative appearance for playing multiple parts.
And I think until like it started to really become known, I don't think people realized that was her as Pearl in X. A lot of the time, like audiences that weren't like in on it.
Well, the good thing is like lately what they've been doing, and I've seen it pop up on social media a ton, is the fact that the time lapse footage of her being turned into Pearl. That's been like everywhere, so a lot of people may have seen that, but the ones that didn't, yeah, they probably were extremely clueless.
Who would win in a fight, Pearl or Kathy Bates' character from Misery? Probably Pearl.
Kathy Bates is strong because she got Paul out of that fucking car wreck.
Yep. I think Pearl might be a little bit more like, she's obviously, Kathy Bates has like the size strength advantage, but I feel that Pearl could use her intelligence to kind of avoid. And if you avoid that one shot and you deliver one of your own, it's all over. But then all she has to do is just hobble her, and then it's all over too. So
it could be like when she killed Jenna Ortega's boyfriend. It's because she was unassuming, and then she can just stab you.
Right.
Getting back to my notes. I love the Kathy Bates cameo in Rat Race. You should have bought a squirrel. I forgot about that. Like I forget about most things about Rat Race because I watch It's a Mad, 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 Mad World instead.
I was about to say a line of hers from Rat Race just because I love her delivery of it, but then I realized I can't say that out loud now.
Shoot.
Nor would I want to. Let's be clear. But I love her delivery, is what I'm saying.
Angus would make a great movie club pick.
Yes, it would.
Mm-hmm.
It actually feels like Angus was like made for movie club.
That'd be fun to revisit now.
Thoughts on Dolores Claiborne?
I remember really liking it, but I got the book a while back that I haven't gotten to yet, and I've been waiting until I read it to revisit it. But I remember, obviously, Bates and Lee are amazing. I remember David Strathairn really standing out too.
Yeah, I
didn't see the movie, but I read the book. I like the book.
That's it. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
How long ago did you read the book?
Maybe a little less than 10 years ago.
Have you just not come across the movie, or?
No.
Favorite Mary Steenburgen performance?
Can I count Curb?
I mean, probably.
It says performance for the same
It
movie.
doesn't specify.
I feel like it's too obvious to say Melvin and Howard, but it's usually the first thing that comes to mind, besides Back to the Future 3, but I don't really care for her in Back to the Future 3.
I mean, the reason why I'm guessing it's brought up because of appearance in Elf, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I've got an answer, but there's only one person in this group that's going to get why I'm going that way, because obviously I haven't seen as nearly the amount of movies that the other three in the podcast have. My answer is Clifford.
Oh my god. I was just going to say, she's very haunting in her very small screen time in Nightmare Alley.
Yep.
Her scenes in Nightmare Alley are very disturbing.
Yes.
And then I like this transition because Clifford is also disturbing in a different way.
I had to look that up in case you thought. I had to look that up just in case it was actually Clifford the Big Red Dog.
Nope.
That's the only Clifford I know.
I'm not surprised you don't know the Clifford.
While we're on the topic of Clifford, I do just have to shout out Martin Short hosting SNL last night, and that Christmas Carol sketch that was really wild. I don't know if anybody saw that.
I am so freaking excited for next year. That is going to be just, it's going to be incredible.
Yeah, I fucking hate you.
You've got lots of stuff on me. So we're about even when it comes to things like that.
You just had Rock.
I did have Rock. You're right.
And now you're getting. It's weird to word it this way, but you know what I'm talking about. Martin and Short.
Right. And Austin just is kind of hinting around at we're getting a tour next year, and he's starting to hint about dates. So get to see Parks again, plus Live 15 in January.
I'm surprised you didn't say Steve Martin Short. Bry continues. The last 2010 movies I've watched since the last podcast: A Footnote, Searching for Sugar Man, Finding Vivian Maya, although in brackets masterpiece. That's a pretty good film.
It is. Yeah, it's very good.
And today Restrepo making me complete on what would have been the Oscar movie marathon of 2010.
I love Searching for Sugar Man. I love the fact that I have that movie in the theater.
I love going into Searching for Sugar Man not knowing the story.
Yeah.
When you don't know the story, it's like genuinely surprising.
So good. Such a great movie.
Okay, Josephine.
It's like the anti-Dear Zachary, where it feels like a movie narrative, but in a positive way.
You might need to get your list ready, AJ, because it's Josephine's buy one, rent one, lose one time. This one is movies that take place over the course of a day.
Ooh.
So we have High Noon, Rat Race, Run Lola Run, the Before trilogy. Cheating, isn't it?
Maybe each individual, maybe.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Magnolia, Training Day, Do the Right Thing, Breakfast Club, From Dusk Till Dawn, Buffalo 66, Escape from New York, and Snow Day.
Well, Training Day is at the top for me, since Collateral's not here.
Neither is Clerks.
Yeah, and Empire Records.
Yeah, so they're not in this conversation.
I would say Magnolia. I assume we're doing the Before trilogy individually. That's a tough call
Right.
between Magnolia, and Before Sunset, the second Before movie. Maybe I'll say, oh fuck. Maybe I'll say Before Sunset. Second.
I would get rid of Snow Day, rent Training
Yeah.
Day, and buy Magnolia.
It's so hard.
I also have to axe Snow Day.
But it's a perfect day. Nothing's standing in your way. Chris, you got an answer?
I would go probably Ferris Bueller, then Training Day. And then I'll axe whichever one I haven't seen.
I effing hate this.
And yes,
'Cause
that
it's
means
like-
I'm not axing Snow Day. I'm not axing Snow Day just for Chris Elliott.
That's
That's
fair.
I don't. God. So it's like, what do I do? Because I don't know which one to get rid of.
While you're thinking, I gotta throw a question out there. What's up with the Snow Day remake where Jerry Trainer's playing the Chris Elliott part? What is that? You didn't know this
Well, I have a
existed?
feel-
I don't even know that
Apparently-
Snow Day existed, so this is intriguing.
Don't worry. As you can see with trivia, we're about to get some Snow Day trivia in just a moment.
I mean, I don't wanna like drag him because Jerry Trainer is a very, very funny dude.
Right.
It's just odd to me that exists.
I don't want to get rid of Snow Day. I actually liked it.
Oh God. Which remake are we talking about? Which remake are we talking about? Of Snow,
Is there more?
Of Snow
Is
Day.
there more? Is there more? I think it like just aired.
Coming to Nickelodeon and Paramount Plus on the same day as Avatar. So fuck James Cameron. The musical version of Snow Day on Nickelodeon and Paramount Plus.
God, there's so many great movies on this. I almost want to get. Yeah, I will because it's probably the one I. It'd either be Buffalo 66 or Run Lola Run.
If Buffalo 66 starred somebody that wasn't Christina Ricci, would you feel the same way?
Nope. Not at all. Run Lola Run is the one I'm cutting.
Why?
Now my question. Christina Ricci. I'll use the Chris argument.
You haven't seen Run Lola Run? Is that what you're saying?
What?
Are you saying you haven't seen Run Lola Run?
I haven't seen most of the things on this list. Actually, that's a work. I actually have seen pretty much everything on this list. Thanks to you.
But I'm assuming not Run Lola Run if you cut it.
Right. High Noon was on the list too. I was like, nah, I can't do that.
Snow
Rat
Day.
Race Days.
I think High Noon. I mean,
Rat
High
was-
Noon is a bit overrated, but it's better than Snow Day.
I think Rat Race Days because of DP.
Mm-hmm.
I love Training Day, but I can't even put it in the conversation because we have Magnolia, we have Ferris Bueller, we have From Dusk Till Dawn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of
And I
strong
don't know-
films in it.
I love John Hughes.
I mean, Denzel's on another level in Training Day, though.
You're not wrong, and I love doing the right thing too. God dang it. Okay.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Yeah, we've been. I'm glad you said that because it does need to be acknowledged that we've really been downplaying Do the Right Thing in this conversation.
That video is available on this network, by the way, and it's got a lot of good praise too. So check it out.
Speaking of Spike Lee and Denzel, I'm sad Inside Man isn't on this list.
Don't be sad. The stuff that's missing doesn't need to be there because we already have enough.
Yeah.
Move on.
I'm not sure what you're thinking of, but I actually have not talked about Do the Right Thing on this channel yet.
What do you have?
Nope.
But maybe you need to do the right thing and talk about it.
I wanted to do when the Five Bloods was talking about. I wanted to do like a Spike Lee series, and I even marathoned his movies. And then I was like, "There's too many, and a lot of them are too heavy. I can't do this like off the cuff."
This was something we were talking about doing. It's not something that actually came to fruition. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, it's like, but I don't think it's ever been a mystery. It was ever going to be a mystery that Do the Right Thing would hold up. But holy shit. It's like, think about how incredible you remember Do the Right Thing being. It's better than that. It's even better than you remember.
Well, the obvious answer is going to be to buy Magnolia because it's been my absolute favorite of this list, like forever and a day.
But by the way, does Do the Right Thing even count? Because it ends in the next day.
True.
Because you could say the same thing about From Dusk Till Dawn, but From Dusk Till Dawn, it's within 24 hours.
Yes, and it's got snakes in it.
In like the very early morning.
It's got lots of snakes in it, so that may disqualify it based on that. But it's got a Horror Nights connection, so that also keeps it in the running. Yeah, I have to go with...
From Dusk Till Dawn doesn't have snakes.
The house did. Yeah, it does. Mama Hayek has a snake around her neck.
Oh, yeah. One snake. One snake. Yeah, it's one snake.
That's enough.
I was going to say, I know Owen very well, and one snake is one snake too many.
Yeah.
That's why I love the new let's show support for all of our acting performances trailer for Babylon that exists now. That just dropped this weekend.
So the movie hasn't even come out yet, and it's already in love with itself. I'm not surprised at all.
That just sounds like a run-of-the-mill Oscar movie to me.
Obviously, it's going to be better than the ones that are going to win. So here's the thing. The easy answer here is to go with the movie that I've been watching ever since I was a kid. The Rent is Ferris Bueller. But my argument could be I don't need to rent it because it's on television all the time. But my argument there is I don't watch TV or have TV. So yeah, I guess I will have to rent it. So yeah, Magnolia is by, Rent is Ferris Bueller, and let's get rid of High Noon.
Wow.
One less Westworld.
Some interesting snow day trivia. A real bank heist took place near the filming location, and the felons drove right past the production assistant, who immediately alerted everyone set. The felons were surprised to see that they were driving from a film set shortly before driving headlong into and becoming hopelessly stuck in a fake snowdrift. The police immediately apprehended the two bumbling crooks to the amusement of everybody on set. At least something good came from it.
I love that apparently the Wet Bandits went from New York to the set of Snow Day.
I'm just happy we're talking about Snow Day and such fire.
As soon as I heard the word bumbling, I immediately thought the Wet Bandits did this.
This is actually the second movie.
Johnny Knoxville on one of those silent alarms from Big Trouble.
This is actually the second film in which Chevy Chase goes down a snow-covered hill screaming out of control, while people around him are enjoying the same hill. Obviously, it happened on Christmas Vacation film as well.
I love,
albeit a much faster speed.
This is your Snow Day trivia for today, brought to you in part by
Chris Elliott admitted that he was asked by the director to stop brushing his teeth to add to the plow guy character. He complied, and that's why his character's teeth look the way they do. Chevy and...
Surely that's not all natural. I would hope not.
both Chevy and Chris were in movies directed by Harold Ramis that featured Bill Murray, with Chevy being in Caddyshack and Chris being in The Groundhog Day. Interesting, both films had Bill Murray dealing with a rodent. And it's also the last time Chevy Chase was on a poster of a movie until Hot Tub Time Machine.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I get.
I love that. I love the specificity of the Chevy Chase going down a hill while other people are enjoying it. Fact, and the both did movies with Harold Ramis where Bill Murray is with a rodent. That's insane. That's actually insane. Because I was going like, oh, this is kind of reaching, and then it's like, oh, it's really not. That's actually interesting.
Favorite wig or wig scene in a movie or TV show? Sean Connery's wig in You Only Live Twice, because it's like, are we trying to make him look less Asian?
They basically gave him Lloyd Christmas's hair.
Sounds about right.
I
you
know
said
there's
movies or TV, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Owen and Ashley, can we count when Kurt Angle shaved his head?
Yes.
I was wondering when to go Kurt Angle off though.
Was the transition to wigs from Christmas Vacation with Uncle Lewis?
Maybe.
I really dig Dustin Hoffman's wig and Hook. I specifically remember how much it blew my mind as a kid when it flew off and I realized it was a wig. Even though there's a build up to that, my child mind just never put it together until the big reveal.
I don't even know where to go with this one.
Josephine's now got the movie cast deal. However, you've partly locked in because it says come up with a holiday movie with Keith David and Angela Bassett and Mr. and Mrs. Claus. The other characters being, or the other actors, sorry, be listed Louise Guzman, Sean Astin, Jennifer Connelly, and Julia Butters.
Louise Guzman's definitely an elf.
Mm-hmm.
Sean Astin's the head elf.
I buy that. I'm assuming there's our Lord of the Rings joke here.
Louis, because he's a hobbit,
Yeah.
and there's elves in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Because Orlando Bloom was an elf.
It's like, I don't know what
I would definitely have
in there.
I agree with Luis Guzman being an elf, but I have to add the caveat, I think he's a fuck-up elf.
Okay.
That's
I
fair.
wouldn't know what to do with Julia Butters because between Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and The Fablemans, she grew up a lot. I didn't even recognize her in The Fablemans for a long time.
I was going to say she's Jennifer Connelly's daughter, and Jennifer Connelly is a single mom.
No, I was going to say Jennifer Connelly as the Snow Queen, as the antagonist.
Ooh.
I like her as the heel. That's a good idea.
Yeah, because like as soon as you said mother and daughter, I was like, this is becoming a really generic Christmas movie.
Yeah. Quick, get the Hallmark channel. It's on Peacock.
Here, I can help it be not generic. Keith David's character is if his character survived from They Live. He becomes the new Santa.
He would have
this
a very
is the alternative
different
timeline for Santa Claus. Keith David as himself.
Mrs. Claus tries to get him to wear glasses because he can't read, and he just gets in a big alley fight with her.
So to get away from the fantasy world for a second, I like the idea Ashley came up with Jennifer Connelly as the Snow Queen. And I like the idea of Julia Butters being like the good elf and Louise Guzman being the not bad elf, but like you said, the guy that's the screw up. And she's just trying to keep him up to keep him under Santa's watchful eye.
Luis Guzman would definitely make a deal with Jennifer Connelly's Snow Queen to save Christmas that would blow up in his face.
I can see him like doing a heel turn for sure, 100%. But
I was going heel turn also.
yeah, heel turn for Guzman, 100%.
It's funny, you guys were thinking heel. I was thinking more like Dudley Moore in the Santa Claus movie.
That's Sean Astin.
Yeah, I was like, with us going heel turn, it's like, so he's his character in Carlito's Way just as an elf.
Carlito's elf.
I am okay with that.
From the library, I checked out Letters from Father Christmas by Tolkien, a collection of fictional letters by Santa he wrote to his children, with his own personal illustrations as well.
Oh no.
Favorite Nickelodeon Christmas special?
That's too much.
The one I remember the most is the episode of Rugrats where they went up in like the mountains or something.
Yeah. Chaz came down the chimney. That's the first one I think of.
I don't know whether
I can't say I didn't like it. I didn't even really see the SpongeBob Christmas special where it's like, I don't know if it's like actually claymation, but it looks like claymation. But I do know the song Don't Be a Jerk, and I often play that. But I've never actually watched the special that it comes from. That song's actually a really good, like, kids really need to hear that song. I'm really glad they, like, that came through SpongeBob of all places.
Heard that adults need to hear that song. Trying to see if I can find an answer to the question.
By the way, while we're on the topic, I do need to mention, because this literally crossed my mind recently. A scene that goes through my head a lot whenever the naughty and nice list is brought up is the scene in that Rugrats special where Angelica thinks she's calling the North Pole, and it's just like some random workshop, and the dude that answers pretends to be Santa and tells her she's on the naughty list.
Yeah!
That guy's my hero.
Solid.
Favorite bear scene in a movie? The Great Outdoors was on TV last night and has a memorable bear scene. I also like the bear scene in Without a Paddle.
I like that she's sticking with comedies, but I mean, how am I not going to say The Revenant?
Yeah, tell me about it.
That's one of those cases where I somewhat know how that scene was filmed, but I still kind of don't know how they pulled it off as flawlessly as it looks.
I will tell you right now, as someone that has seen this trailer now, the red band version of said trailer, Cocaine Bear is going to be quite a romp.
I am so fucking sick of meme movies. I cannot tell you. I'm sure Cocaine Bear is gonna be better than like Horror Grinch and Horror Winnie the Pooh and all that shit.
Now those movies look god awful.
And I like it is, you know, it is very funny that this is like Ray Liotta's last movie is a movie called Cocaine Bear. It's like it seems fitting. But I don't know. I'm just tired. I feel like Cocaine Bear is the kind of movie I'd be much more into if it wasn't already a meme. But it's like the fact that shit just happens instantaneously now before a movie's even seen is just so boring to me.
See, this is where it comes into the fact that I don't pay attention to memes. I didn't know that was a thing, so I just thought it was just a stupid idea for a movie.
No, it's actually an amazing idea for a movie. I just hate that it's a meme already.
I didn't. That was HHN Bear, but it still worked for them.
I would find it more fascinating if we actually like did the accurate depiction, documentary style, rather than Hollywood it up and turn it into a horror film.
I'm not exactly sure what direction they're going with it, because it seems horror in some ways, but also seems like they're playing it as a dark comedy.
Yeah, but it's a lot more horrific than the actual thing. If you want horrific bear scenes in a film, Grizzly Man?
Oh, God.
That's a documentary. These are two different things.
No,
Well,
but
my
I
pick
want to
for-
see... I'm saying that a documentary on coke, because there's enough stuff talked about this cocaine bear anyway that's already out there.
Well, the scariest scene in Grizzly Man has nothing to do with the bear being around. The scariest scene in Grizzly Man is when Herzog's listening to the attack footage, and then he just says, "Never ever play this ever."
Yeah.
Dear God, it's time.
Okay, comedy. Shout out to the bear scene in Bushwhacked. That's very funny.
Yeah.
My pick isn't comedy, and there might be a little bit of recency bias, but I might have to go with the scene from Prey.
Oh, that's a good one.
If we're going on comedy, the Tundra episode of The Mighty Boosh, where all of a sudden this polar bear's clearly lonely in the pole, and Noel's character's just like, "I'm gonna go off," and then the polar bear just says, "Hold me." What did you say? Nothing. And then there's like a dance party happens with it. Oh, it's awards game time from Brian.
Yeah, it is.
So
we're
talking about screenplay stuff.
Heck yeah, let's go.
Specifically the BAFTAs from 2000, but specifically only when they didn't match the Oscar prediction.
Real quick, Ashley, before we finish, Josie has a timely question with her cute bear emoji that she puts in the chat. Love the emojis, Josie, every time. As far as bears, don't forget The Edge with Anthony Hopkins and Alec Baldwin.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now it's game time.
Game one, I should say. So, Amelie or Shrek?
Oh God.
See, here's the problem. Like you talked about, about memes. Shrek has become the biggest meme in the world, but it's still, by and large, a really solid movie.
Yes, and people were long since familiar with it and had seen it hundreds of times before it was.
Accurate.
And yeah, like, it's Amelie is nice, and I love Jean-Pierre Jeunet. Anytime I get the chance to praise him, I will. He's one of the most unsung directors maybe ever. But that soft spot for Shrek probably overpowers it.
Yep.
Which is unfair, but that's the way it is.
A lot of these battles are unfair. I've looked at several of them.
Yeah, I'd probably stick with Shrek as well.
Chris, you want to complete the quad?
I don't think I don't think you've seen Amelie, have you? Do you just have thoughts on Shrek in general?
I would just go with Shrek. I haven't seen Amelie.
There we go.
Adaptation or talk to her?
What puts adaptation over for me is the layers.
Yeah.
I mean, not to say talk to her also has there's a movie within a movie kind of going on. But adaptation is just so out there, and Charlie Kaufman's just kind of so in his own league. I know we're talking about Almodovar too, but there's just nothing like Kaufman. And the fact that it's credited to somebody that doesn't exist.
I'd say adaptation.
I concur.
Adaptation.
Lord of the Rings: Return of the King or The Station Agent?
I'll say The Station Agent. I haven't seen it, but I feel like Return of the King is overrated, so I'm going to go with The Station Agent.
Yeah. I gotta maybe possibly backtrack on something I said before. Last time we did this, it was the Oscar winners, so it was Return of the King versus Lost in Translation. And I picked Return of the King on the basis that I don't think I could write Return of the King if I was tasked to. But I feel like I could write something akin to Lost in Translation. I could probably say the same thing about The Station Agent, but I like The Station Agent more than I like Lost in Translation. Which is making me comfortable saying The Station Agent over Return of the King.
I'd probably just about edge it to Station Agent, but it's closer than others are making it out to be, I would say. Last King of Scotland or Little Miss Sunshine?
Oh, by the way, Peter Dinklage for the win.
I'd probably give it to Little Miss Sunshine.
Definitely.
Little Miss Sunshine.
Yeah, no question.
Diving on the Butterfly or Juno?
You definitely got to give Diving Bell and the Butterfly points for creativity, because even if it's like Schnabel's direction is why it looks the way it does, still I can't imagine how exactly that would have been written. So that's amazing. But like I said when we were doing the Oscar one, just Juno is way too special to me for me to not say it. And again, I'm taking this time now to say, since I had to say No Country last time, almost begrudgingly because I love Juno that much. I'm going to take this time to say Juno now.
I'll probably give it to Juno as well. I think that epitomizes the genre.
I got to go with Juno because I haven't seen Diving Bell and the Butterfly.
Oh. Slumdog Millionaire or In Bruges?
Bruges.
Yeah.
Bruges.
Without question, Bruges, especially for screenplay.
It's an inanimate fucking object.
Yeah, Slumdog is great. Oh, and have you found that it's much easier to love Slumdog now than it was in amongst all the hype?
Absolutely. I don't even hate A.R. Rahman anymore.
Jai-ho.
I did during that award season, but only because it was award season.
But obviously, McDonough is on a level of his own as well.
He's going to show it this year.
The fact that I'm like 9 days away from seeing Banshees is starting to set in.
You're going to love it. I said before, we've been Dante and Randall for X upon years. We are definitely not Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson, and we never will be.
Up in the Air or The Hurt Locker?
Now, this is the tough one.
I'd say Up in the Air pretty easily, especially on the writing front. I like The Hurt Locker, but Up in the Air is really the scenes where they're like actually firing. That scene where Kendrick's like doing it on her own for the first time,
right?
And the guy starts to like raise his voice in anger, and they realize he's just in the next room. That scene, I haven't seen Up in the Air in a very long time, and that scene is still just ingrained in my mind. The J.K. Simmons scene's really good too.
I think that's the same thing about The Hurt Locker too. It's like when it was like the juggernaut that it was, even though it lost to The Wrestler at the Spirit Awards, and I'm always going to bring that up. At the end of the day, it was something that it was easy to dislike during season because you didn't want it to win and keep winning. You wanted other things to win and get a chance. But yeah, this is a screenplay award. This is Jason Reitman's win all day, every day.
I'd edge it.
Brother, do you have a preference?
I agree with you guys. Up in the Air.
I personally give it to Hurt Locker. I thought that was sort of Up in the Air. I sort of guessed where it was going.
See, here's the thing, though. The Hurt Locker will always have the connotation of being the only movie for that picture season we didn't watch theatrically, because when we had the opportunity to see it, we didn't think it was important enough to travel to until it was way too late.
I don't know that I could completely say I could see where Up in the Air was going. I remember the first time being gut punch when Kendrick quits. And it's so unceremonious. Like, he shows up and he's like, "Where's Kendrick?" And they're like, "Oh, she quit. She's gone." And we just see her leave, and we like never see her again.
Right.
It's like to show that the impact that job has.
I mean, it wasn't that I was sort of saw coming. It was the George Clooney Vera Farmiga stuff.
Oh yeah,
That was the
I
bit
guess
that I felt was a bit too stereotypical.
I almost forgot she was nominated for it. I almost forgot Farmiga was in it.
I always find it interesting that the way life has worked out, that I have so many friends that are flight attendants now. And there's so much representation in film that I've seen throughout the years that they have 100% either debunked or said, yeah, that's a shoot.
Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy or The Artist?
God, the hardest one's coming up next.
I feel like I'm gonna love Tinker Tailor someday. It hasn't hit yet.
It never did for me.
I get how difficult it probably is to write a silent movie. I mean, I wrote a short one. It was only like 10 pages. I can't imagine doing that feature length. Even though there was a whole era of filmmakers where that's all they knew. But that was a different era. So I would probably say The Artist for now, but I feel like someday I'm gonna love Tinker Tailor. I might be 50 or 60 years old by then. But one of these days I feel like it's gonna click. Because the end, I still love the ending. So there's a spark already. That spark just needs to turn to a flame sometime.
Which bit of the ending? Just the whole general ending, or Le Maire?
I think it's just the Beyond the Sea montage.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going Tinker Tailor all the time. I've seen better silent films from the 1920s.
Yeah.
Silver Linings Playbook or Django?
Hi, I'm here. Stop forgetting me.
Oh, sorry. I thought you...
Not that far away, Ashley. Anyway, so yeah, obviously the answer is The Artist. Duh.
Bro,
I hated Tinker Tailor when I first saw it.
Brother, we watched Tinker Tailor together, didn't we?
No, I've never seen Tinker Tailor.
No, I watched it, and then I was showing it to you, and I think we got maybe halfway through. I think it was the scene where Smiley's in the pool. I think we ended up doing something else.
That's fair.
Do you recall seeing a fraction of Tinker Tailor?
No, I didn't think I'd watched any of it.
I'm pretty sure we started it once, and you were so not into it that we just did something else.
That doesn't work when you're in a theater in Athens. You just sleep.
I can't wait until you watch the 7-hour original version on TV with Alec Guinness.
No.
Actually, well, here's the thing: is I actually read the book.
Yeah.
And I remember being like into the book, so I was surprised by how I couldn't get into the movie.
Fair.
I'm intrigued.
I feel like I guess that's the way his writing works, because I remember being a lot more into a Most Wanted Man's book than I was the movie too. So maybe he just works better as a book in general.
So yeah, Silver Linings Playbook or Django?
Do I even need to answer this?
I'm insane.
Brother, you said you've rewatched Django recently. When's the last time you saw Silver Linings Playbook?
It's been a little bit. But honestly, I think I would go with Silver Linings Playbook if we're talking screenplay.
Oh, wow.
Oh, God. Well, it's like it's once again, it's down to that moral dilemma every single time, your head versus your heart. And I love Django. I love Django a lot. It's funny, there's so much like references like daily when my roommate's in town that it never fails. Like he has a farmhouse like down where he lives, and we call it Candyland because it looks like the same plantation that Calvin Candy had. So I love the movie and it's fantastic, but nothing beats real life. Silver Linings Playbook.
Yeah, it's much when you say is it your head or your heart, it's much easier when they're in the same place, and Django's in my head and my heart and my soul. So
I'm just waiting for them to take advantage of the mark. Well, it's been too long now. It's been 10 years. But we're getting like Star Wars Monopoly, Spider-Man Monopoly. Where is Django Candyland?
Oh, that's dark.
Now, if it was Kevin Smith instead of Tarantino doing it, this would already exist right now.
Well, weren't there like dolls for the Django characters that they discontinued because they thought it was in poor taste?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, Django Super Sevens would be awesome.
I was going to say, can you do Django Candyland? Because I thought the concept of Candyland was everybody wins.
Can you imagine the Calvin Candy figure with the articulation, Chris? Good Lord.
That would be really nice.
Yeah, it would.
I mean, would this be...
It was Super 7 immediately. We need figures.
So would it be... I'm assuming it'd be the journey it'd be the journey through the movie, because isn't the point of Candyland's original game to get to Candyland rather than being Candyland?
Right.
Yeah, and you get stuck in places, and Django gets stuck in quite a few places.
Yeah, you got Big Daddy's plantation. What were you saying?
Why don't we just cut out the middleman and just do a Tarantino Monopoly and just go through all the movies? The Trek from the Hateful Eight, run into the diner in Pulp Fiction. I mean, the final shootout in Reservoir Dogs. I mean, there's so many great.
There are a lot of properties. You have the diner. You have Mini Sabbatashary.
Yeah.
The
Jack Rabbit Sims.
Yes.
I'm trying to remember though if 4 train stations are featured in Tarantino films.
I feel like Jack Rabbit Slims would be the boardwalk space.
I guess one of the stations could be the airport from Jackie Brown.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Josie's still talking about Tarantino making a revisionist history witch movie. Yeah, like I said, Tarantino directing Spirits of the Coven. Let's go.
Is it? I just pictured a card that says you put 3 fingers up the wrong way, go directly to jail.
You win $50 at Jack Rabbit.
Jail wouldn't be jail; it'd just be death.
I was gonna say if it's Tarantino Monopoly, instead of jail, it's a cemetery.
Sam Jackson will take you to jail or to death.
And the little graphic should have a tombstone that says Paula Schultz on it.
Yeah. And then it's like instead of get out of jail free card, you bust through your coffin with your fist.
You can have another one that says you come back to life from an adrenaline shot.
Yeah.
Beatrice sword, the BMF wallet. I mean, these are nice little play pieces for the game.
The House of Blue Leaves is another location.
Oh yeah. Make this happen. Why do we not have a Quentin Tarantino board game?
I'd give it to Django as well, by the way. Next up, Philomena or American Hustle?
Mother freaker.
Oh, Philomena easily. Steve Coogan for the win. Easily.
Yeah, as the one person that was trying to champion American Hustle in the worst job I've ever done predicting awards and will ever do in my entire life. Philomena is such a great movie. That's the correct answer.
I haven't seen Philomena, but like I didn't cut Snow Day for Chris Elliott, I will go ahead and say Philomena, assuming that Steve Coogan does a good job.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Acting and writing. I can't remember. Has it been mentioned in a Trip movie yet since Steve Coogan got an actual Oscar nomination? I would think he'd be all over mentioning that.
I'm trying to remember whether it's come up in Trip to... Because I think the only one that's come out since then would have been Trip to Spain, the most recent one. Oh, this is an easy one.
Josie brings up Chutes and Ladders for Tarantino as well.
This is a pretty easy one.
You could also make a wrestling board game called Chutes and Ladders.
Theory of Everything or Grand Budapest?
Grand Budapest.
Jesus.
That's easy.
I didn't see Theory of Everything, but I see it. I don't see anything beating Grand Budapest.
Especially the Theory of Everything.
God, it's definitely especially Theory of Everything.
This is tough for different reasons. Lion or Manchester by the Sea?
Lion.
I can go with Lion on that pretty easily.
The Lion was really good. Dev Patel just really showed. Speaking of Slumdog, Dev Patel really showed me something in Lion, and I really wish he would have propelled his career a little bit more forward after Lion, but he didn't really.
Lion's a fucking beautiful movie. I don't think it gets the credit it really deserves.
And we're still ticked off about Casey Affleck.
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like I said about a month and a half ago on this channel, fuck Casey Affleck. I haven't seen either, but I'll take Lion.
You know what's funny is when I chose Lion, I wasn't even thinking about Casey Affleck, but now that I remember, yeah, double down on Lion. Because fuck Casey Affleck.
Hang on, I'm just trying to check this. What the is BSF Boston Society of Film Critics? Do we know?
That sounds right.
Because they've been announcing their awards apparently today.
So is LA.
Oh yeah. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, since we talked, Todd Field won director at. Oh, you're gonna love this, Owen. LA gave director to Todd Field, and Everything Everywhere All at Once and Tar tied for picture.
I have to bring this up now because I'll forget by Thursday. Because remember, this is just the Boston Film Critics. This isn't related to Critics' Choice. Best Ensemble was a tie going to Women Talking and Jackass Forever.
Oh.
I'll give them applause.
I want to see both of those cast on a stage together.
I don't know. Part of me wants to get Knoxville's figure when it comes out. He's got two.
I just felt I had to mention that there because that's my word. Call Me by Your Name or Free Billboards?
That's another easy battle. Come on. Another one for Mark.
Literally just got done saying McDonough's in a league all his own.
Sorry, James. I'm going with Martin.
Hey, we put over Bones and All a lot on this network, and we're going to continue to do so. So I feel like he's okay.
For Guadagnino, yeah, but not James Ivory.
I don't care about James Ivory. Not in this situation.
Black Klansman or The Favorite?
I really like The Favorite a lot. This is tough.
I mean, I'm obviously going to say Black Klansman, but like I said, The Favorite script is like, it's real strength. I was still, The Menu. The Menu was reminding me how much I loved Holt in The Favorite. Not to take away from the three actresses who are all amazing. Even Rachel Weisz, believe it or not.
Mm.
But But yeah, so the idea of Spike Lee making a movie that feels like it's a crime movie from the peak of the 70s is a movie I'm going to be all over.
I just about edge Klansman, yeah, but that's a tough one.
Yeah, that's the second toughest battle I've seen so far. Yeah, I love The Favorite, as anyone that watched the video knows. But yeah, Black Klansman wins here.
And then Coda or Licorice Pizza.
Okay, the Bradley Cooper scenes in Licorice Pizza, Coda, the rest of Licorice Pizza.
It's heading hard again, but then again, both of these are heart related, so it's difficult. But it was my win for the year. I mean, just like before, it's like choosing Silver Linings Playbook over Django. It was my top movie of the 2000s, the 2010s, when we did that show before the Oscars. Of course, I was going to go with it, even though I love Django. Just like the same thing, I love Coda greatly. As a matter of fact, anybody that worked in the morning with me got to hear that soundtrack quite a bit for quite a while when I saw the movie. But yeah, at the end of the day, like I said before, it's like you got to choose your heart. And if I heard Life on Mars one more time, I was probably going to die of crying. So yeah, Licorice Pizza. I beat up PTA before, so I have to like coddle him a little bit to give him the win here. So Brian, love these games. Continue them every 2 weeks here on the Pop the Question show here on Popcast Network.
Does that mean I need to hold off Bry's other one?
I don't see another one.
Oh, there is.
Oh God, we got more. Yes, let's go. But first,
I would say Coda. Josephine quickly
first,
adds in between. In your interlude between the two, just finished Del Toro's Pinocchio, and it was outstanding. My mom and I teared up.
I'm literally in the middle. I had to pause it to do this video, and then I'm gonna finish.
I'm really hoping it gets a theatrical release around here, because that's the only way I'm seeing it.
So, sticking with the screenplays, except this time it's the WGA.
Oh, baby.
Again, the messages are what we're highlighting.
My apologies for the cough, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot be not sick at this point. So,
starting off with Traffic or You Can Count on Me.
Oh, I see one that's coming up.
I really like You Can Count on Me, but I'll give the edge to Traffic.
Traffic.
I don't.
When you throw a crime movie at me, it's going to be unfair.
I don't even know what You Can Count on Me is.
Prime Soderbergh, so of course it.
You Can Count on Me is Lonergan. It's Laura Linney and Ruffalo.
Ah. I don't remember it. So Traffic. That's probably what I need to catch up on.
I believe Lenny was nominated for it.
The Hours or Bowling for Columbine.
That's weird. How do you even compare the two?
Yeah, because like,
well, we're not comparing the two. We're basically just saying which one would we like more. That's an easy one. For me, at least.
The Hours is really good. I know it's easy to dismiss as just like a Stephen Daldry movie, but
hard.
Oh man, Columbine's probably more memorable, so I guess I'll just say that. I don't know if it'd be his writing that's memorable, but
yeah, just because it's like, it seems a weird fit for screenplay. I'd give it to The Hours, but in terms of film, I'd say Columbine is the stronger film. if we're going on screenplay, I'd have thought it'd be The Hours.
Chris?
I remember with The Hours.
I love Michael Moore. Loved his movies. I remember watching them in the theater. Love Bowling for Columbine. Love Fahrenheit 9/11. Love Sicko. It's weaker than Fahrenheit and Columbine, but still, I've enjoyed his movie in the theater. And I enjoyed the theatrical response in the theater when Keep on Rockin' and the Free World played, and there was the standing ovation, which was crazy because that's not something that happened fairly often. Yeah, Bowling for Columbine easily. Ooh, this is a tough one.
American Splendor or Lost in Translation?
You said American Splendor or Lost in Translation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably American Splendor. I probably sound like I hate Lost in Translation. I don't.
I remember when I got to rent American Splendor from Hollywood before it went on the shelves. Remember how I had the gimmick where I used to be able to get the movies like a couple days early and like rent them and then bring them back before they got dropped to the GP? And I remember being absolutely blown away by Paul Giamatti in American Splendor. So yeah, that's my definite answer.
Yeah, I had a guy who was a former enemy of you in your personal life that had a hookup at Blockbuster, and I got to see No Country for Old Men and Funny Games early because of that.
That's awesome.
Skip 2009 because it's the same as the BAFTAs. Okay. Oh, I see. Yeah, because we just covered it. Social Network or Inception?
Social Network.
Social Network.
Yeah.
Brother, I remember when you were so anti the Social Network before you saw it because you were so tired of the hype.
Yes.
Did you think 12 years later you'd be saying the Social Network script is better than Inception's?
Yeah, because I always appreciated it for what it was. It was just like with Owen and Slumdog Millionaire. It just the hype just hurt it.
Owen in a lot of things, actually. Oh, here's the funny thing I'm starting to realize as we progress deeper into our almost decade here on YouTube. It seems like as we get older, our appreciation for Christopher Nolan is lessening. Because I'm noticing we're being a lot more critical of things we definitely would not have been as critical on back when we first saw movies.
I agree with you right now, but this is going to be completely irrelevant come July because Emily Blunt's in his new movie.
Oppenheimer does look.
So that movie is already flawless to me.
That's fair.
It's close, but I'd have to edge it to Social Network as well. But I really like both scripts.
Oh, some of these are really tough.
Argo or Zero Dark 30?
Argo.
Argo, fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Zero Dark 30 was always a struggle for me.
Mm-hmm.
It feels so goddamn long. And there's so long stretch. And I love Chastain. But I don't love her in Zero Dark 30. And that's like one of her most acclaimed performances. And she's not convincing to me in that part.
It was weird. Yeah, I remember when we watched the movie. I remember liking it more than you did, clearly.
I believe the way I worded it was like watching Minnie Mouse try to play Clarice Starling.
You did say that, actually. I wish we had that on video somewhere. We do.
Her or I Am the Captain Now?
Captain Phillips.
Yeah.
Captain Phillips all day.
If Minnie Mouse is Clarice Sterling, does that make Donald Duck Hannibal Lecter?
I've seen the memes wearing the Lecter mask, so there you go.
Yeah, I was gonna say Mickey, But I think Mickey, since Mickey is kind of like at the head of everything, Mickey would probably be Jack Crawford. So yeah, that would make Donald.
Oh man, does that mean that Goofy is Buffalo Bill?
Yes, 100%. 100%.
Yuck! I'd fuck me.
Yup. You say what I can't say, Chris.
What the fuck did I just walk in on?
AJ, are you okay?
My mind went to, was she a great big fat person? For some reason, that's not the first line I went to, so you caught me off guard.
Hey, what's the lotion in the basket?
Oh man, that means Goofy has a dog. How morbid is that? Is that like a, yeah.
The Imitation Game
Hi.
of Grand.
If it's been silent for a few minutes and I haven't said anything and I'm not coughing or dead, chances are I haven't talked yet.
Okay. Who
Told
loses
you,
track?
Matt Cardona of Popcast Network. January is not far away.
Mm.
The answer is her. I love Captain Phillips, but I really, really loved her.
Well, don't worry. The majority of people will say her.
Right.
I'm
They're
not one
both
of those
good
people.
scripts. It's not like where it's like, why did this win? In this case.
One of my favorite things about that season was that Bill and Ted, I was the only person that knew Barcott Opti by name when he came out as a villain in Bill and Ted. This one's it, thankfully.
Imitation Game of Grand Budapest.
Duh. Wes Anderson.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that there's literally no point to put Grand Budapest up against anything.
Yeah.
Nope.
It's just such a juggernaut.
Well,
It made me laugh at a cat getting kicked out a window. It did something amazing.
It was thrown out of a window, and the thrower was Willem Dafoe, somebody you're not a fan
of. One of my least favorite people on planet Earth. Thank you, Von Trier.
Yes, because Willem Dafoe is rightfully one of our most beloved actors right now, we need to specify that you only base this on Antichrist.
You are correct.
Arrival or Moonlight?
Moonlight.
Say that again?
Arrival or Moonlight.
Yeah. Arrival's fucking brilliant, but Moonlight's just... It's the tenderness of Moonlight that comes through. The scene with Ali, where Chiron figures out that he's his mom's drug dealer, and he just kind of has to... That whole scene in general, where he has to explain to him about the slur, and then it kind of transitions into... My mom is the way she is because she does drugs, and you deal drugs, right? And then Juan just has to sit in silence. That's writing that doesn't come along very often. That scene, especially. And then the whole scene with him and Kevin at the end. The entirety of Andre Holland's screen time. The whole restaurant scene with Kevin, and then afterwards, until literally the end. Moonlight's just so fucking beautiful.
I'd probably just about edge it to Moonlight. Again, they're both strong. Next to the Owen can't answer. Okay.
I've seen both movies. I only saw one of them.
Can you ever forgive me or 8th grade?
I love Bo Burnham, but I've got to say, can you ever forgive me?
That's what I would choose if I had to choose one.
I don't think... I didn't really get where 8th grade was as groundbreaking as it was set out, as it was like made out to be.
I'd probably give it
Probably
to...
part of the reason I kind of stayed away from it. That and the fact it never came close by until it was too late.
I'd probably just about give it to Can You Ever Forgive Me? But again, that's another close one. Borat subsequent movie film or Promising Young Woman?
Promising Young Woman.
I don't know what. Borat 2 was fine to me, but it really feels like it did as well as it did in the award season because it was 2020 and the options were limited.
That makes sense.
Promising Young Woman would have been there regardless, thank God.
Promising
For
Young
sure.
Woman's stronger overall.
Well, actually, no, it wouldn't have because it was originally supposed to come out in like February or March, and then it got pushed enough that it was into the award season. But yeah, it always deserved to be there, is what I mean.
I'd probably go with Promising Young Woman as well.
Yeah.
And then Don't Look Up or Coda.
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 Yeah, Coda as well.
Said I get what Adam McKay's saying, and I appreciate it, and I agree with it pretty much. But yeah, we don't need to go down the Don't Look Up rabbit hole again.
I mean, I clearly liked it more than AJ did, but I mean, it's Coda.
Well, I now can officially see what my next pick for Movie Club is. Thank God. Good news. Christmas Miracle. And then the final Critics' Choice from 2009 to 2021. God, we're still going.
Oh, good. There's more. Sweet.
Up in the Air or Inglourious Bastards?
Oh, that's actually a tough one.
I mean, I love Up in the Air, but it's obviously Bastards.
But it's tougher than it could be. It's Bastards.
Yeah, I'd say Inglourious as well, yeah.
Oh, God, some of these are really hard. Really.
Brother,
20?
I assume you're also... Brother, I assume you're also on the Bastards train.
Oh, yeah. It's one of my top 10 movies of all time.
Yeah.
Moneyball.
Some of these are really tough.
Moneyball or Midnight in Paris?
I love both of these movies.
I love Midnight in Paris, but I've got to go with Moneyball. And honestly, that's pretty easy to me, actually.
Yeah.
Moneyball.
I'd go Moneyball
as
well.
Call me basic, but I mean, if Sorkin's here, I'm probably going to say him.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Funny you say that, because next it's Lincoln or Django Unchained.
Lincoln's really good. I like seeing Lincoln on a theater screen that was like IMAX. That was amazing. But I'm not going against Tarantino for any reason.
My brother just sent me something saying he has to take a very quick bathroom break, but I'm curious what he has to say about this. Because this was the award season where he was going to every movie with us.
You are correct.
Because obviously my answer is Django, but my love for Lincoln cannot be downplayed.
Same here. I'm going to put a pin in the game for a second and go into a little bit more chat.
Yeah. Luckily, because it's where the live chat is where I did it. It's a good marker. Bryce says, thanks a lot, Chris, for bringing us summer school on the movie club, because 2 months after Kirstie Alley dies. The curse of the movie club continues. Also sad that Bob McGrath has gone. Jones says, my mum and I watched Holiday Affair last night. Check this out, it was coincidentally on TCM today. They played the same Christmas films on TV over and over. I mean, I love Christmas Vacation, Home Alone, Elf, etc. But there's other Christmas films.
That's why I regulate them. Because it's our Christmas Eve tradition, I avoid Christmas Vacation like the plague until Christmas Eve. Like if it's on TV, I get as far away from it as possible because it's like a strictly Christmas Eve thing to me. Hey, brother, we were just talking about how you killed Kirstie Alley.
I was going to ask you if you thought I was responsible for that.
Finally,
I already did it to Kevin Conroy too.
Oh yeah, that's right.
No. That was the best bit of the Game Awards when I actually nearly cried to find out that they kept it secret. He is in the Suicide Squad game. That will be his actual last performance, not the stuff that's not going to get released by HBO Max because Warner Brothers Discovery are twats. He does feature somewhat prominently in the new game coming out early next year. So.
Also, brother, we wanted your opinion on Django versus Lincoln.
Lincoln.
Really?
Interesting.
Yeah. Abraham Lincoln is a very easy person to play very over the top, and I think the writing and keeping him subtle for the most part really helps with it. So I would give the edge to Lincoln.
Yeah, because that's a 2.5-hour movie, and he's got maybe 2 scenes you could call big.
Mm-hmm.
You know who I love in Lincoln. I love his writing and I love his performance. I think some of my favorite scenes in Lincoln are the James Spader scenes. I love that performance so much.
Gone Girl or Birdman?
This is a little bit harder.
If I remember correctly, I feel like Gone Girl's pretty cut and paste from the book. It's very, very close to the book. So I'd probably say Birdman. Because Birdman definitely has pretentiousness in it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the Norton scenes that I really love in Birdman. The writing, the performances, and all that. When the movie's basically Keaton versus Norton, is when that movie's at its peak.
Birdman.
Yeah, I'd probably give it to Birdman.
I really liked Gone Girl though, but like AJ said, it's copy and paste.
Arrival or La La Land or Manchester by the Sea, because there was a tie-in original.
Arrival, easily.
La La Land.
I say
Either,
again,
but anything that's not Manchester by the Sea.
I say again, Owen, and I had to stress this a lot during that season. You are aware that the screenplay and the songs are 2 different things, right?
Yes, of course I am.
Okay, so are you sure?
Yeah.
I still can't get over that scene where they fucking break up. I saw somebody compare to a scene in a Bergman movie, and I wanted to just beat the holy shit out of that person. I don't.
Movies are subjective, you know that.
I mean, Bergman was a stronger director than he was a writer, but I mean, still, to even make the comparison is kind of insulting. By the way, Owen, I respect your opinion. I just want to put that out there as well.
Fine. Well, I'll get. Hopefully, look, I'll get the last laugh when nominations are announced.
It's like I respect your opinion, Owen. I would just also like to set La La Land's script ablaze.
I would say that is Arrival, and that is La La Land, and that is Manchester by the Sea. Hello.
I feel the same way Ashley does. I feel the same way Ashley does. Just switch La La Land to Manchester by the Sea because I still like Manchester by the Sea. despite Casey Affleck.
It's just such.
By the way, in case people get it twisted or they weren't here for that season, I really like Casey Affleck in Manchester by the Sea.
Mm-hmm.
But him beating Denzel makes it a whole different story and a whole different narrative. And that's why he will forever, his name is forever fuck Casey Affleck. Like that's just his name now. Like this.
I can't even say his name. Danhausen rule.
Next one, Owen can't answer.
You are correct.
If Beale Street could talk or First Reformed?
First Reformed. I just reviewed Causeway. Has that video gone up yet?
Yeah, just went up right before we started tonight.
When I was talking about Causeway, I praised the Brian Tyree Henry scene in If Beale Street Could Talk. What I didn't specify in that is that's pretty much the only scene in If Beale Street Could Talk I remember. Regina King's big scene towards the end stands out, but to me there was very little of Beale Street that stood out.
Well,
As much as I love Barry Jenkins, I stand behind Barry Jenkins regardless of anything. But yeah, if Beale Street could talk, it wasn't talking to me.
Film-wise, I would say Beale Street, but script-wise, it's First Reformed.
I remember how much you were putting over First Reformed when you first saw it. And we're talking about award season, and then it being a contender in one way, shape, or form.
Yeah, Schrader and Hawk is like a match made in heaven.
Yeah. Little Women or Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Oh my God! Come on.
I love you, Greta. I do, but it's Tarantino, and it's one of the best movies ever. I'm not gonna go against it. I'll go see Barbie several times just to try to boost the box office. Okay, we'll be even. I'm the only person in the world that puts over nights and weekends. It's not Noah Baumbach.
Yeah, I'd give it.
That's a shit.
One of my best friends in the world has a very strong and personal connection to Little Women, just in general, and the previous movie adaptations. It's basically a part of her being, practically, and she did not have many nice things to say about the Gerwig adaptation.
She doesn't like Greta anyway. I know this. She doesn't like Greta anyway.
Nomadland or Promising Young Woman?
That's an easy one.
PYW.
Emerald Fennell, a movie that wasn't a documentary that should have been made in the first place. You do suck at that. One of the most overrated Best Picture winners in recent history. To me, at least.
Because did it ever really change how the service industry works? No. So why was it made?
Promising Young Woman, obviously.
I haven't even said Promising Young Woman because I just figured it's a given.
That's like saying it for me. It's a given for me too.
And then
oh God, there's
Belfast or The Power of the Doogie Howser?
Belfast.
Well, yeah, I said that too quickly, but my answer is Belfast. But Power of the Dog is pretty amazing too. I just think Camp is a little overrated. That's all.
Oh yeah, Belfast was a grower for me. It took a few screenings to really dig it as much as everybody else did, but once I got it, I got it.
I'll probably go with Belfast as well. Bry says it's not Yukon that wanted to be a dentist, it was Hermie.
I know, Brian. I haven't seen it in a while, and I haven't been over to SeaWorld in a millennia to check out their Christmas event to see the characters, so that's the reason I messed it up. Plus, I'm sick right now. Give me a break.
Holiday Affair trivia. The train set that Connie buys cost $79.50 in 1949. So, in today's money, that would be $1,000.
Shit.
So, it's Lego. Josephine says, no, AJ, I don't think it's odd you prefer Mia Goth in X, because you're right, she is transformative in that film compared to Pearl.
All right, this is the part where we're coming full circle.
I can't remember whether it was, I think it was one of the awards things, I think it was discussing film, their website did nominations, and they've put Mia Goth in for both X and Pearl. In
I'm
two
fine with
separate
that.
slots of the 5.
It's a bit of a cop. I get it, but it's kind of a cop out.
You want to give another award to Pray with the Devil, which reopened here for some fucking reason?
It
Dear
never
fuck.
left some theaters around here.
In a Just World, not only would Mia Goth win Best Lead Actress, but Pearl could win Costume. I wouldn't be surprised if that could be in a consideration anyway. Because the
Pearl is
text
definitely an option
do
for
like to
costume.
go like with what they like. Doesn't necessarily have to be what's already sort of in the rest of it.
Okay.
I mean, why else is Suicide Squad makeup and hair? And all that. Cop police cliches you're tired of seeing in movies.
What kind of cliches?
Cop cliches.
Police cliches.
Say the dirty cop. There's always a dirty cop. Isn't there another option? Can't they all just be dirty? Just like,
I think of John Malkovich's line in Knock Around Guys
that's fair.
when Barry Pepper says the cops are involved, and Andrew DeVoley chimes in and says, "And they're dirty fucking cops." And Malkovich says, "Yeah, he said cops already."
Exactly. Should not be said that they're dirty cops, because 9 times out of 10, if you watch a movie, most of the time they are cops.
Hey, cab. At least in movie terms.
Purely movie terms.
No, in real terms, it's M-cab. Or N-A cab. Narcab.
You know, this is a hard question to answer because I love cop movies so much. I think anytime there's a cop movie cliche, I think I'm embracing it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I would say maybe the Screaming Captain.
Yeah, that's a really good one, actually. That's one that needs.
But as long as, well, I guess it doesn't matter to spoil Bad Boys for Life. Up until recently, we had Joey Pants in Bad Boys, who was like the perfect Screaming Captain. If they were all Captain Howard from Bad Boys, that'd be one thing. And I like the way Frank McRae spoofs them in Last Action Hero.
Yeah.
Yeah, every other one is kind of a tire cliche.
I think we are going to cut off the chat.
Yeah,
I would go with the obsessive detective.
No, no one said anything to.
What were you saying, brother?
The obsessed detective.
That's a good one.
I guess it's a good thing I took those 4 scripts I had and I just scrapped them for parts now. Because that was one of those.
I want one where the detective like everyone we see, the detective like dives in and gets personal. He can't sleep. I would love to watch a movie about a detective that just doesn't give a fuck. Like clocks out at 5 and is like, that murder will be there fucking tomorrow.
Oh man, I feel like that movie exists, but I can't think of what it is.
I want to say good cop, bad cop, but having seen God knows how many like criminal psychology things on YouTube where that tactics is used and is proven to be very effective, I feel conflicted about saying it. Because it's like, I don't like seeing it, but that's how they get the results half the time.
Well, plus if you get rid of it, we lose Liam Neeson in the Lego movie, which would be very tragic.
That's fair.
Well, then again, that's good cop, bad cop. In what that's like good cop, bad cop meets Split. Not like two different people that are good cop and bad cop.
You know the sole reason the Lego Movie 2 sucks is because Good Cop Bad Cop isn't in it. Or I don't think he. I know Liam Neeson is not in the Lego Movie 2. I don't think the character is either.
I thought I thought two sucked because it was somewhat basically the same as one. And once you had the reveal of like the true storyline in one, nothing sort of you couldn't do any others. It was the perfect standalone.
The main reason I remember Liam Neeson isn't in the Lego Movie 2 is because it came out the same day as Cold Pursuit, and it feels like a missed opportunity. It would have been hilarious if he was in it and those came out the same time. It felt like a missed opportunity.
Josephine says, AJ, it's funny where you said that you hate birth scenes in comedies. Also, AJ, are there any short stories or short story collections that you're a fan of?
Book wise,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of something besides the Kings because those are always my go-to.
Can I throw out something?
Yeah, feel free,
AJ knows where I'm going with this. There is a out-of-print book that came out, two of them, that came out many, many years ago. And they're a series of short stories, one of which I remember getting in a paperback form, which is my favorite of them. The other of which is in a hardback form, which I get out of town. One is called Beyond Imagination. The other one's called Tales of the Impossible. And they're branded with the magician David Copperfield. Now, there are some really solid short stories in here. Like, there is a movie that I want made, I want AJ to make one day, that is basically, the story is literally called The Answer. No matter what question you have, you're always going to get, when you read the word on the page, it's going to be the correct answer. And it looks like gibberish, but everyone else hears something different. So when you say the word, it's the answer to what your question is. And I feel like it is a phenomenal idea for a movie. I think Limitless was going that route for a while. Luckily, it decided to go the other way. But kind of the same vibe, but not exactly the same way, obviously, because we're going different from drugs to literal The Answer. And then there's a story about a singing tree that brings the relationship of a guy together who he loved that passed away. There's all sorts of amazing stories. And as AJ, I'm sure, is thinking about other short stories he enjoyed as well, you get a chance to check out Tales of the Impossible, Beyond Imagination. Find them in your, like, old bookstores. Like, for example, like used bookstores. I'm sure they may have them. I think it's probably on Amazon by this point. But yeah, I definitely recommend both of those, especially Tales of the Impossible.
The other one that came to mind for me was, I guess they're technically novellas, so it's not exactly the same thing, but I just remember finding it annoying. I had this, it was a collection of Steinbeck. But the problem is that it's kind of thick. And so like the moon is down and stuff like that was in there. And so it's like 3 like novellas and short stories, and then just 400 pages of it is East of Eden.
Wow.
So it's basically like, here's East of Eden with special features.
Bry also mentions is in relation to films in a day. Where's Dazed and Confused?
Oh yeah.
And then another thing that I guess AJ and Bry don't agree on. Bry says Do the Right Thing is overrated.
I'm just gonna say No. That's my response.
Great. Just no.
People say Black Swan ripped off Perfect Blue, which is understandable, but nobody's pointed out that Inception's a rip-off of Paprika. Yeah. No, I certainly see that, yeah. Maybe it's just somehow, like, perceived differently, because when it's anime, people don't, like, have the same connection to it. I don't know.
If we're talking about movies praised for their originality that aren't actually original, can I just take another swing at Inside Out just because I like doing that? I'm glad you're dead, Bing Bong. Rest in hell.
Goodbye.
I could
Shove the
see,
moon up your ass.
I could also see Brendan Gleeson and Imelda Staunton as Mr. and Mrs. Claus.
Oh yeah.
That'd fit.
All right, I've decided to not sleep now until a Brendan Gleeson Santa movie exists. Let's see how long it takes.
Wow.
Forgot to mention a couple of times after seeing Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, Hugo should have got the Oscar for adapted.
I loved Hugo.
I'm too in love with The Descendants.
But The Descendants is so much better overall.
Plus the idea of Jim Rash and Nat Faxon having Oscars is just something that I love whenever I remember it happened.
Where the hell has Jean Dujardin been? Making relatively small films. I think his most recent one was The Jacket, I think it was called, which was weird.
As far as American movies, I feel like he got the hell out of Dodge after The Monuments Man. It's like, this is what American movies are? Fuck this.
God. Talk about a movie that had all the possibilities of being incredible, and it was the biggest letdown.
Think about it.
You let me down, Don Lake. You let me down.
He won an Oscar, then got to be the villain in The Wolf of Wall Street, and then The Monuments Men. I probably would flee the country too. It's like, you gave me so many promises. What the hell is this?
Maybe he pulled a Rick Dalton and went to do Italian movies.
You're close.
Oh,
He did have a movie October 5th. It is a French film. So instead of doing Italian movies, he's doing French movies instead.
Yeah, the film I was thinking of was Deerskin, which was like shown at Cannes like 2 years ago, but it only sort of showed up this year, I think, in certain places.
I want to say its streaming release was like in 2020, like the tail end of 2020.
Okay. May have been over here then, I'm not sure.
And a 2019 movie called An Officer and a Spy, which was nominated for César Awards.
Yeah. But most people don't talk about that because it was directed by Polanski.
Yep.
But yeah, a lot of his stuff is back to being French. And whether did Scorsese and Clooney scare him off that much?
Bro, I'm still laughing at you making fun of the way Rick Dalton says Italian. I love even when he's angry. I gotta make Italian goddamn fucking movie.
I think it's funny because she was on the other foot for Brad Pitt for a change.
Yeah.
Josephine briefly mentions, I'm curious about the eligibilities and ineligibilities for WGA this season, but we'll get into that into future prediction videos.
While we're on the topic, I got to mention something to Owen. Because I never really it never really did anything for me. It was just like another line. But I know you always love the line where Cliff Booth says, "Don't cry in front of the Mexicans."
Yes, love that line.
In Tarantino's new book, he talks about how at a screening for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Guy Garcia Bernal and Diego Luna were there together,
Right.
and they laughed at that line for so long their girlfriends got mad at them.
I remember the first time I saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and then when I subsequently saw it like hours later, like in the other theater and just like next door, and oh my god, I laughed hysterically the first time, and everybody looked at me strange. And thank God, the second time I watched it, there were more people in the theater, and they joined with me, and I was like, oh, because I don't want to look like an idiot. I don't care. This is my favorite line in this movie. I'm going to laugh hysterically during it. Just like when he throws Bruce Lee into the car. Always got a huge pop every single time I saw that scene.
What I always loved was all the criticism about Cliff Booth being able to fight Bruce Lee and win. And everyone's like, that would never happen. That's Tarantino filleting himself. He's just putting his fictional character on a pedestal. And everybody's response is, didn't you hear him? Nobody beat the shit out of Bruce.
Exactly.
Brian mentions that impression earlier from Chris was a combination of Goofy and Barney, the dinosaur.
Oh God, Barney's saying it's a real... I don't want to go there.
Gary.
Is that documentary out yet?
He doesn't exist in my park anymore.
I think that documentary is on Peacock now. Like
What, the Barney Buffalo Bill documentary? Does that exist?
Well, it's something like that. It's something where it's like, this isn't the Barney you thought you knew, sort of thing.
Oh, for God's sake.
God, it's going to be on the Fox network at like 8 o'clock on a Thursday night.
I can't remember. La La Land ripped off Umbrellas of Cherbourg with an umbrella emoji.
Thank you for the emoji, Josie.
You guys know I don't like Baumbach and Gerwig. And then finally from Josephine, Joaquin Phoenix is a sort of nonchalant detective in Inherent Vice.
True.
I guess you could say that.
In that world, he'd be considered detective.
Does that scratch that itch, brother, at all? Inherent Vice?
Maybe.
I think you wanting a movie where the person in charge of the investigation doesn't give a shit is starting to shine a light on why you love Lebowski so much.
So yeah, the Barney documentary is I Love You, You Hate Me. It's a mini series on Peacock, which I think was like, is it only 2 episodes? Okay, so it's relatively short, maybe, and that's it.
If I could never hear the words Netflix documentary together again, it would be too soon.
It isn't. It's Peacock. I love the fact though that everybody insists it's a Netflix documentary.
It sounds like it.
Wait a minute. As much as I know we need to go home, and I definitely support this idea, there's one thing that was missed in chat, Ashley.
Oh.
Brian says, I said this was the last, but let's take a shot. But let's go with for the last best screenplay winner of the Globes for the 2000s and the 2010s.
Oh.
So, pick one. Traffic, A Beautiful Mind, About Schmidt, Lost in Translation, Sideways, Brokeback, The Queen, No Country, Slumdog, or Up in the Air.
Sideways.
I'll go with No Country. I know I've said before that it's literally just the novel in screenplay form, but
I'm going to concur.
It's undeniable to me.
I'm going with Sideways as well.
I to edge to that. What were the list again?
The best screenplay winners of the Globes from 2000 to 2009.
Mm-hmm.
Traffic, Beautiful Mind, About Schmidt, Lost in Translation, Sideways, Brokeback, The Queen, No Country, Slumdog, Up in the Air.
I love that Schmidt is in there.
Sideways is probably the stronger generally.
If I had to pick a pain, I might go with Schmidt before I'd go with Sideways, as much as I do love Sideways.
Speaking of a pain, the 2010s. Social Network, Midnight in Paris, Django, Her, Birdman, Steve Jobs, La La Land, Three Billboards, Green Book, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I hate this.
I do too. Great ones.
So many of those are such music to my ears. The Globes know what the hell they're doing in screenplay, it turns out.
I feel like they almost always have.
I guess in that respect, we'll have to pay attention tomorrow then.
I'm sorry, AJ. I'm going with The Social Network.
Oh, nice.
It's down to the three. Literally, my top three of the decade we did for that list are all here. Social Network, Django, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I will probably have to say Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. But The Social Network is right there, and Django's right there.
I'm in agreement.
And Three Billboards, too.
But it's hard to not have McDonough in this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like Green Book a lot. Really a lot. But over this lineup, no.
I almost panicked for a second. I was like, oh my god, are you going to say Green Book?
So if I was going to say something you were not, you were expecting, I'd go with La La Land. But the correct answer here is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I'd say Three Billboards.
Can I just say Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, The Social Network, Django Unchained is one title?
Yes. and then Three Billboards could be like number 2.
Jason says it's a great time chatting with you. I'm gonna watch the White Lotus season 2 finale. Not season 2, remember. It's a completely different miniseries.
I've been waiting for it to end so I can just go through. But obviously the English is my priority, and I'm gonna
coming.
Yeah, and we'll see what the fuck that Santa Claus thing's about.
Are you talking about the Tim Allen one?
Yeah, have you looked into it yet?
Yeah, I'm caught up with it right now.
How do you feel about that?
It's just, oh man, we're so far from the grittiness of the first one. We've gone so far away from it.
Wait, caught up as in, did they release that like in bulk, or are they actually episodically doing that one still?
I don't know, because I just finished episode 5 and it didn't feel like the ending of an episode. It felt like the ending of the episode before the ending.
Yeah, there's supposed to be 6, I think.
Oh god.
Okay.
That makes sense then.
They actually episodically. I really think that is backfiring on Disney at the minute. It gets a lot of attention for the first episode, and then it maybe peaks back up when all the episodes have been done. Huh.
Hey, the faster we kill streaming off, the better off I shall be.
Oh no, it is 5 episodes apparently.
More movies.
No, it. Wait, it says there's 5 episodes, and then it's listed as 6. Wikipedia, get your shit together.
Well, only 5 have come out.
I know, but it says that It says number of episodes 5, as if 5 have been done, even though it was known to be 6. Dying how it works, the internet. Well, Wikipedia. Yeah, first 2 episodes available immediately. That's not how you... messy.
Oh, and brother, if you want to throw it in my face, I did get another Christmas rewatch in.
Which one?
There's his stupid goddamn face for everybody.
Oh God.
The movie is dripping in Christmas though.
I do still like it. Yeah, I always forget about Chris Klein and how much
I love his send off. It's one of the best exits for a character ever.
while also being incredibly abrupt for that storyline.
And it wasn't like this drawn out, like over the top thing it could have been, because we already did that. You just left. Anna Faris is wonderfully psychotic too.
Yeah.
So,
Is that the note we end on?
Yeah,
That's the show.
that's us done. Thanks everybody for joining us this time round. We'll be back. Hang on, check my notes tomorrow. I think.
6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time tomorrow night. Popcast Movie Club, episode 18. Leave Her to Heaven from 1945. AJ's pick from Movie Club.
Yeah.
And as far as I know, most of the cast is dead already. So,
So in that respect, we're good. And then as an added sort of bonus, Thursday at 6 Eastern.
Yep.
AJ, Owen, and myself, I'm guessing, with Chris sitting out because it's award season. We're going to be covering the nominations for Critics' Choice, where I have to bring up TV because there's movies within the TV movie section which should considered be movies, at least over here in the UK, which is confusing as hell. Along with the Golden Globes. Globe nominations are tomorrow, Monday the 12th. And then the film part of I think they've announced the TV stuff already, so I've got to put that into my Excel document or whatever in a few minutes. But the film part of the nominations get revealed Wednesday, so that's why we're going to use Thursday to cover both and officially start the award season videos rolling as we head to those ceremonies within the first week or two in January. So aside from that, lots of other stuff here on my network. Lots of archived sip and snack stashes, occasional gaming stuff, Voices of Liberty, all that sort of stuff. Most of the stuff at the minute is AJ's movie reviews and versus I don't know. Like, what's the plural?
Versus.
yeah. We just went full Mystery Men on that.
Yes.
In terms of the socials, Owen can be found at Sir Owen Disney and at Popcast Network, to keep abreast of what's going on here. I can be found at Ash Is My Name UK. Chris, you are on the Instagrams and on the podcasts.
Yes, so Instagrams is Chris Hunt's Toys. Podcast is Figures and Flippy Shit Wrestling Podcast. We changed our schedule. Instead of doing shows going up the day after an event, they're going up directly after we literally watch the event, record it. So right now our reviews for Final Battle and NXT Deadline are up there, and then we'll be back tomorrow night to review Monday Night Raw.
As someone that did this for 3 years, it's a blast, but it becomes tedious real fast.
Yeah.
especially when bad creative is there. But I think it's generally been better since Levesque's been in charge. There's been, don't get me wrong,
for the most part.
There's been some
NXT's coming back around too.
Misses, but it's been more hits than misses than it ever has been in the last 10 years of Vince being in charge. So, I mean, obviously you don't watch it, Owen, but they had like a contract signing with Ricochet and Gunther for the Intercontinental title, and New Day came out because it was all of like Imperium with Gunther. And right. Xavier literally says, you do know, because Adam Pearce is officiating, you do know what happens with these. Everything goes crazy. And Adam Pearce is like, I'm sure that not sort of thing isn't going to happen. And Xavier just says, have you watched a wrestling show? and Adam literally says, good point. You wouldn't have had that happen in Vince's era.
As your former NWA World Heavyweight Champion saying that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. AJ?
No, something might happen next year that I may get a reason to want to talk wrestling again, whether it's here or somewhere else. I guess you'll have to wait and see.
I mean, with New Day having the tag belts in the Performance Center, I'm already intrigued. Especially that spot last night. The Eddie, four Eddies, eventually spot.
Yeah.
That was genius.
Rick Starks MJF this Wednesday. Winter is coming.
And he was just flipping the finger at the UFC thing with his belt and just there. And they only kept him on for 3 seconds because he was swearing. Yet the wrestlers going, hey, what the fuck's going on? Like, oh no, keep that. Great.
That's good.
AJ,
I'll say it on my. I said it on my podcast, and I'll say it again now. Ricky Starks' promo on Dynamite was fire.
Yes, it was. I've been saying this for the longest time, and I feel like I'm sticking to this. They're trying to turn Ricky Starks into Cody, and I
could
fully
see it.
support this. I fully support this.
You saw the stuff
he's
that
not
happened
beating Matt
afterwards.
They know, but he's gonna make a statement.
You saw what happened on Twitter afterwards.
I did.
With the whole somebody calling out Maxi Pad, and he said, "Nah, I don't think that's gonna stick." And then Starks just comes with, "Nah, man, I think it's got wings."
So good. Twitter's not dead. It's just on life support.
AJ cannot be found on social media.
But it's being resuscitated more and more every day. So
AJ cannot be found on social media, and just like Keith Richards, has facial hair and cannot be killed by conventional weapons. So with that, thanks to Josephine, Brian, all those of you who were maybe lurking or watching us on archive. And until tomorrow,
Spencer wasn't here today, was he?
What?
Spencer wasn't here today, was he? Ah, he's missed.
He disappeared.
I feel he'll probably be here when he finds out we're announcing a show for the awards for Thursday. Unless he shows up tomorrow.
Until tomorrow, boys and girls. That's all we've got to say about that.
Stream F about it. Water Parks.